Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Habitat for Humanity of Montgomery and Delaware counties for our Women Build 2022 conversation with women in the trades. Today, our topic is breaking the bias, and we are incredibly excited to be joined by Dawn Caldwell, owner of Let Out Ladies, Edna Carr, owner and general contractor in the building business for over 15 years, and Jeannie Marchucci, who has also been a landscape architect design and been involved in contracting, and we're incredibly lucky now to call her part of the Habitat for Humanity team as our special projects manager and corporate relations manager. So thank you, ladies, so much for being here with us today.
Sure, thank you for the invite.
Yeah. So I'll just kick us off with our first question, which is really around the topic of today's theme, breaking the bias. What does that mean to you as women in the trades? I'm going to start with Edna, if you could kick us off.
Okay, sure. Breaking the bias for me is more women getting into the construction field, and specifically in some of the special trades in the construction, plumbing, heating, HVAC, painting, all of that. And having these women not just become the owners, not just become the workers, but the owners of their own businesses, okay? And then inviting more women to come into the field. That's breaking the bias for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And from the little bit conversation we had before we started recording, sounds a little like that might have been your relationship with Dawn.
Yeah. Dawn and I go way back. Dawn is a fabulous person, and I will let Dawn speak for herself.
Yeah,
ahead,
what is?
Yeah, Ms. Carr, she was one of my construction instructors. And I was just really impressed with her because no matter whether we were in the classroom or on site, she just always looked gorgeous. And so for me, it was different because when you think about, the trade field, you always look, hard, harsh, manly, masculine, if you will. And she was just the exact opposite. She was, sophisticated. She was approachable. And you could she had an aura of class about herself. And so that inspired me to say, wow, you can, as a female, you can be feminine and classy, and for lack of a better word, sexy.
Oh my goodness.
And be good at your job, in the trades field. And so I've tried to, adopt that style. I don't do it as good as she does. But
you do a great job, Dawn. You do an excellent job. And great at your craft, too. I can't.
Carr doesn't even go to she doesn't even go to Home Depot with like painted pants on. So I stopped. I would have paint on me and I'd go, to the store or whatever. She doesn't do that. If she's leaving site, she's together. She's together. So I've gotten a little better.
Yeah, well, you look beautiful, Dawn. I don't know what you're talking about. So
yeah,
I'm trying to work it out.
Beautiful, all of you.
So does that touch on kind of what breaking the bias means to you, Dawn? Like, what is that phrase when you hear that from you?
So for me, I didn't see a lot of females in the industry. And so having met Ms. Carr and the fact that she was so open and sharing, and she cared and she understood that it was important that, there are other women that needed to get into this field because it's a good career. It's a great opportunity for women. And so for me, I saw that and I wanted to tap into that, and she opened those doors for me. And as a result of the doors being open for me, when I go and I meet other women, they're surprised that I'm the one doing the bulk of the work, and I'm the one directing. And so just being able to share with them, like, listen, no, you can do this. You can do this as well,
Yeah.
and bringing other women with us to say, listen, this is not, just for men,
Right.
Now, granted, do we have muscle if we need quote unquote muscle? Sure. But that doesn't mean he's not holding one side of the beam and I'm not holding the other. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
that two, me and Miss Carr can't hold the same beam.
Absolutely. Two
One of the
women
things
can
I think
definitely
that
hold the beam.
yes, I think one of the things that we don't understand is that we need each other. Both sexes need each other. We need each other. But when it comes to women specifically, we definitely need each other. And it's important for us to encourage each other as women that listen, you can do this. You can do this. You just have to, a lot of times I think we just have to speak up and we have to ask, and we can't be afraid of someone saying no. You just keep asking until somebody says yes.
Yes. And the yeses are definitely out there.
Yes,
and the
they are.
opportunities are. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Jeannie, what is the phrase breaking the bias as a woman in the trades? What does that mean to you?
Totally agree with this conversation so far. I mean, there are a lot of women landscape designers and architects, but there aren't a lot of owners in build firms. And when you are a woman who knows both sides of this and you're out there, there's a real struggle with people validating your skills compared to the men that they've always seen on the job site.
Yes.
And it's like, give me that shovel. I can put that tree in,
Exactly.
step over. That shovel fits my hand just as well.
Exactly.
And I think that there is this sort of this step back a lot of times because it's not something that people expect. They don't expect to see women with shovels and Carhartts and whatever else you might be wearing out there. But at the same time, I don't like to look like a field hand either. Like like Don said about Edna. I want to make sure. Part of that is that I want to be sure I am recognized out there and I'm different and that I can be part of the crew, but I also am professional and I can still lead the crew.
Exactly.
Right.
Or own the company.
Yeah, that is the key.
That's so interesting. The whole push and pull between appearance and being seen as capable and competent, I think, is something that many women across many fields feel very distinctly. As you look back across your careers and the successes that you've had, what would you say were probably the biggest challenges to those successes? And maybe the ways that your career had to shift, pivot, evolve based off of those challenges?
Well, for me, some of the challenges that I have faced being in the construction business is some of the men accepting my direction. Oftentimes I've heard that I've been in the business for 20 years and I've done it this way and this is what's working. My comment to them is, okay, you've been in the business for 20 years, okay, but you've been doing it wrong for a large part of that 20 years, okay? This is the way it should be done. And now that you're doing my job, this is the way I would like to have it done, okay? So again, it's pretty much trying to stay firm to, what the job entails and what you expect out of that job. Because mainly you want quality work and you want a satisfied client. Okay, you want your people satisfied for the work that you're doing and not looking at you because you're a female, thinking that it's going to be wrong. You have to hold people accountable that's doing your jobs. Okay, and perfection is the key. Okay. So those are my challenges. Talking with some of the men and getting them to accept that was my challenge. Okay. But I've gone past that now, most of the guys, a lot of the guys know me and pretty much know that I say what I mean and I mean exactly what I say. That's all I can say. And dealing with the guys, you gotta stand your ground, and let them know that you are breaking the barrier too. You know what I'm saying? It's been a man's world. in the construction business. And that's changing. And it's up to us to make that change and stand our ground and do quality work.
That's good.
Mm.
That's good.
Agree 100%.
I think for me, when I experienced it, and I somehow, some way, it just, I was able to take something and use it to my advantage. And so it's kind of, I don't want to say it's cocky, but I was very forthright. And so when I'm going into these homes, they'll say, I said, well, listen, as a girl, I'm going to go the extra mile. As a girl, we're very detailed. I will play, I will play on our sex as being like, we're very meticulous. We go the extra mile. And, and so I'll say, well, as a girl, we're going to see that a little bit differently, and so even when I'm looking at the jobs and I talk to contractors and I say, okay, you're looking at this from a male's aspect.
Yes.
You have to use both sides of your brain. You got to go male and female. You're looking at it from a male aspect. You got to look at it from the female's aspect too. How would his wife look at this? And so I've been able to play both sides when I'm dealing with the contractors and when I'm dealing with the workers. It's not enough for you to just see it from your point of view, from a male point of view. Try to see it from both sides, male and female. And that's helped me a lot. That's helped me a lot to be able to bring people to see you need to understand it from both sides, male and female.
Yeah, along those lines of what both of you said, I think that using what is instinctively female has really been a big asset, because I think we tend to be wired for relationships. And when you're dealing with clients, you have the couple relationship and you're trying to make sure you understand both of their needs. And sometimes they're very different. Right. Sometimes the man doesn't want to talk to you and you have to kind of foster that along. And sometimes the woman doesn't expect to see a woman in that role. They're expecting to see a man in that role. So then you're trying to make sure she's comfortable with your knowledge and your expertise. You're trying to make sure for him that he's being heard and his budget and the family budget and household budget or whatever is important to them is realized. But I think that the interpersonal relationship aspect of the business has that breaking through that barrier has helped with success in the field, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yes, and I think being a female is, as you mentioned, being a female. I think that first they're shocked to see us as females in this business, and then two, it's almost a blessing. Boy, I'm happy to see a female out here doing this. So most people, are very excited. To see a female out here doing this type of work. And, and it's worked for me. So, and the clients are happy. The work is getting done. And the guys love to see the females, but they want to be the ones in charge. Okay. But again, we have to show that, we're the man now. We're the woman. It's not your ballpark alone anymore, So we're taking our rightful stand, and we have to continue doing that.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't hurt that they've had a lot of bad male contractors too before us.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And that's why it's so refreshing. You're absolutely right. That's why it's so refreshing when they see a female contractor out doing this type of work. And my experience is that they're very excited by that. So like I said, it's work for me, and the opportunity is out here for so many more women to get into the field and make your own destination in this field. The money is there, the work is there, because everybody needs something. Okay, so you will not be unemployed for sure.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an excellent opportunity.
It's
as long as you want to work hard and you're not afraid to work hard.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you say from your personal perspectives is the biggest barrier to women getting into the industry? Even if they have someone like amazing role models like you ladies in front of them, what would you say might be that next challenge for many folks?
for me, you can't feel guilty about going after what you want. You cannot, one of the challenges that we have, we're so used to, if a man works overtime, if a man is working and not home with the family as much, it's acceptable, quote unquote, because he's the man, he's making the money. But when you're also as the female, if you're the breadwinner, a lot of times,
Yes.
you can't feel guilty either about providing for your family. And so I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is to not feel guilty about providing a life for your family, in which you may have to make some temporary sacrifices. And I'm saying temporary.
Yes.
But just know that they're temporary, and just, explain to your family, your children, your spouse, whomever, this is just temporary. But not be afraid to go after, your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good to have when you make that decision to go into the construction field, understand that it's going to be a challenge, okay? But it doesn't have to be that bigger challenge. You know what I'm saying? If your family is understanding and accepting, sometimes the hours are long. And I just love what I do, and I personally work all sorts of crazy hours because I'm that type of person. I'm gonna stay there and get the job done. So I'm
Yes.
head over heels into what I'm doing. Okay. And my family understands. Well, thank goodness, my kids are grown and everything. But for those of you that have small kids, and you're gonna have to you're gonna have to have a plan. So put your plan together of how you're going to attack this industry, and getting what you want out of it, based on the time and the energy and everything that you're going to put into it. If you're going to work a certain hours of the day, give 100% during those hours. If you want to be done by 4 or 5 o'clock, start at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and get out there and do what you got to do, just like these guys do. We can do it too. Take charge, get you a plan, and go out there and do your thing. That's all I can say. Just go do it.
Yeah, just go do it. I think one of
it's out there. Yes.
the biggest barriers we have are things like within our own selves from our feminine upbringings, like the confidence, or the thinking about you're not good enough, and all those voices that tend to play out in your head. So I think a lot of times the biggest barrier comes from within. And then it's kind of addressing those things that come from inside. So, and that don't come necessarily from outside, so that you can feel confident going off and securing those jobs and making those sales and doing the things that need to happen for you to run the business successfully.
Absolutely.
Beautifully said. And Edna, I love your young photo bomber in the back.
Yeah, man.
Highlight.
That's my grandson.
Grandson.
Okay. Yes.
You are such a great example of how we balance work life. This is what women do.
Exactly.
Right. And this is one of the challenges that we have to do sometimes,
Yeah. So how do you ladies hope to see the trades industry and the construction industry change, grow to welcome more women? What would you love to see in the future of construction and the trades industry for women? And that might tailor to the specific challenges that we face.
I would like to see more opportunities offered, as they do for, they offer women-owned businesses. You get so many credits and so forth. The Small Business Administration offers opportunities for more women-owned companies. Okay. So I'd like to see that continue. I'd like to see more mentor protege type situations to draw more women in by other women. Okay. And even by the men. The men have been out here for a long time. I like to see the men start offering and giving mentor protege type opportunities to women. Okay. To allow them and provide the opportunity for them to get into the field. And like I've mentioned before, the special trades, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, those types of industries also offering more opportunities. And even with corporate America, corporate America, can also do something in giving back, okay, to provide some of these opportunities for women. Okay, some of these large contracting firms, mentor proteges, to get them involved in large corporate construction firms. Okay, showing them how to put the plan together for the construction project, the timeline that's necessary to complete that project in a timely manner. All of those, sorts of things. I would like to see women taking control. Okay, getting out there, just making it happen, starting your own thing. Okay.
Yeah, let's see some advertising of women in those roles. Like, I remember the first time I was driving and I saw a woman in a hard hat with one of those street flags. I'm like, you go, girl. You want that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so you see more of that, or you see like in the trade schools, as for high school students, like a real recruitment effort for young women at that age, when they're like people that like to work with their hands and stuff like that. I mean, there's aptitude tests for that, and like help get those girls there.
I agree.
Yeah. That's an excellent point, especially in high school. High school, they normally have what is this? They have this class that you can go to off-site for cosmetology and all of those sorts of things. I like to see them start construction class. Okay, for women to go, off-site from school to get and participate in some of these types of activities. Okay, and teaching them the trades. I love to see that happen.
Totally.
That'd be good.
Well, that is a beautiful vision. I hope that happens, because these are some amazing ideas. And I so appreciate you ladies coming together to share your experiences and your thoughts and your hopes for the future, because that's what here at Habitat we're all about, building homes, community, and hope for a stronger future for all of our community members and neighbors. And you ladies are a vital part of that.
And I personally would like to thank the Habitat for Humanity for all that you do. I mean, you're providing opportunities for these renters to become homeowners and giving them this tremendous opportunity to own a property freshly built. You guys are doing a great job. And providing such a wonderful opportunity for everyone. And I say, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. You're doing it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I don't think that there is a more beautiful note that we could end on. Thank you guys. And for everyone that is watching this, please also go check out our other videos. Dawn and Edna have put up little DIYs that share like their skills and their knowledge, as well as some of our long-term volunteers. So thank you all, and please go check out our other content. And thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.